So this is part 4 to my witchcraft testimony. I'm gonna jump right into it. So I drove down to my mama's house in Georgia from North Carolina. It's like a 5-6 hour drive. The girl did not want me to go. So I get home to my mama's house and I immediately tell her what's going on. I go in her room, I sit beside her bed, and I tell her what this girl had been doing to me. Me and my mother had a very open relationship, so I was telling her everything we had done did, from all the sex to the witchcraft to all of it. So she knew everything. Man, I wasn't even 5 minutes into the story before she went and grabbed her anointing oil. And she put that oil in her hand and hit me like that right there. Instantly went into prayer, speaking in tongues, casting the demons out. She got done praying. I told her thank you, and she proceeded to tell me how she was disappointed in my decisions, and she told me that God said that this was gonna happen, and how she told me I need to listen to her and always listen to your mama. And I'm like, I know. So here's the crazy part. The further I got away from that girl, the better I felt. And after my mama got done praying over me, I felt even better. So after that, my wife comes over with the kids. Now, we ain't talking, we just cutting eyes at each other and making faces. I wasn't trying to get no stuff started, man, but I just want to talk to her, see how she was doing. So after my mama prayed over me and after I sat and spoke with my wife, the girl started acting funny. Me and her ended up getting into an argument. I cussed out, told her, deuces. I ain't gonna lie, homie, I had this distance in between me and this girl. I got to get prayed over by my mama. I got to see my kids, and I thought I didn't want to see her, but I was glad to see my wife. Of course, I didn't tell my wife that, but I damn sure felt it. Fast forward, it's nighttime. My wife went home. She took the kids with her. I'm laying in the bed at my mama's house. My wife is in the bed at her house 2 hours away. I've been seeing spirits since I was a child, so I know how to deal with spirits. I know what to do when something demonic enters the room. I know how to pray it away. I know how to do all of that. So I feel something enter the room, but it's weird because I smell this woman and I feel this woman. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and to my surprise, I look up and I see a shadow figure standing over me that's shaped exactly like her. It smells like her, it feels like her. Now I'm scared because I know it's her, but I'm not because I've fought off demons before. So I start praying, but as I'm praying, this thing, it feels like it's trying to slide into my spirit. This whatever this was, it felt like it was trying to sit inside of my body. It felt like it was trying to sit right here in my stomach. I prayed it away the first time. I'd be damned if this thing ain't come back. Tried to do the exact same thing, sit right here in my stomach. It felt like it was trying to move inside of my body and push my spirit out in a sense of inhabiting my vessel. That's the best way I can describe it. So I rebuked it away the second time, but the second time it fought a little harder to stay. So after I rebuke it, man, I jump up, I'm sweating, I'm breathing all heavy, I'm half crazy in the head. I feel that feeling again, homie. She's somewhere cutting up that volume. The urges start, I'm feeling all crazy. This thing just tried to enter my body. Lo and behold, my wife calls me. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, homie. My wife calls me. She crying and she's scared out of her mind. And she says, something just tried to attack me. Something dark and malevolent. It's the darkest thing I have ever felt in my life. So I'm scared because I'm thinking, okay, this girl came for me and then she came for my wife. My wife tells me I'm finna go to God and see what that was and who that was. If it's that woman trying to get to me because of you, I'm gonna knock your ass out. So sure enough, she calls me back a couple hours later and she tells me it was her. Deep down, I already knew it was her, but I ain't want to believe it. My wife was 38 hot and I couldn't blame my homie. So I waited till the morning time to call the girl. She picks up and I ask her what was she doing last night about 3 o'clock. She tells me that she was drunk. She said that after I broke up with her, she got drunk and she fell asleep in the shower. Now, the connection me and her had was still there, but it wasn't as strong. So of course I felt her that previous night. Of course I felt her drunk. Of course I felt her anger. She was 38 hot. So I was not surprised at all when she sent whatever she sent to me. So what y'all don't know is that my wife and I are twin flames and we are both very gifted spiritually. So when the girl sent something to her, she did a return to sender times 10. I asked the girl, had she sent anything to my wife? She told me no. I asked her if she sent anything to me. She told me no. Now, obviously, she was lying because I knew she sent something for me. It smelled like her, it looked like her, it was shaped like her, it felt like her. Come on. Fast forward, it's time for me to go back home, man. I drive back to North Carolina. Hear me when I tell you, man, as soon as I crossed the border of North Carolina, all of that trauma and all of that shit that I was avoiding when I left North Carolina, it cut back on, homie. It's like the closer I got to her, the stronger the connection got. And the stronger the connection got, the weaker I got. I fought her for about 3 weeks, man. And she was cutting up that volume the whole 3 weeks, but I was in so much pain. So I didn't want to have her in my house. So I told her to meet me at the park instead. I figured she can't put no more stuff in my house if I ain't got her ass there. So we met at the park. So we go to the park and she keep looking at my hands. I put my hands in my goddamn pocket. I say, damn you ain't doing nothing else to me. This goddamn girl looked at me and said, I don't need to touch you to do anything to you. I have everything I need. And truth be told, she was right. Then she proceeds to tell me that she went to the doctor because she had missed her period and she was doing a whole lot of bleeding. Long story short, she had a miscarriage. She was pregnant. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I cussed her ass out for not telling me that she was pregnant. What I didn't know was that prior to her coming to meet me at the park, she had did a honey love jar spell. It's when you take a jar and you fill it up with all type of sweets, honey, cinnamon, sugar, whatever the case is, syrup. And the sweeter the jar is, the sweeter the person is on you. So you take all of that, you put the person's name on it or whatever the case is, and you put your intent on it, and it'll make that person sweet on you. And I know this because the night prior to that, my wife had a dream where she went into the woman's home. God allowed her to go into the woman's home and see what she was up to. She saw her altar. She saw the jar with the liquid inside of it. She saw my name and her name on a sheet of paper nailed to the wall with black coffin nails. And of course, my wife called me later on that night and told me about everything she had saw. Now, one thing about this woman, she was very, very, very good at manipulation. She was the smoothest talker I have ever met in my life. She was submissive. She apologized when she was wrong. She was forgiving. She was loving. And she was really, really good at making you think what she wanted you to think. And what she wanted me to think was that she was sorry for putting spells on me, and she was sorry for hurting me, and that she would never do it again. That, along with that honey love jar spell, it worked the way she wanted it to work. Fast forward, we over the house and she laying in the bed. 3 o'clock in the morning, I feel something walk in. It walked in, got in the bed, and sat in the middle of me and her. I look up and I saw nothing, but I felt weight of a person sitting on my bed. It wasn't a fully grown person. It felt like the weight of a child. Long story short, she wakes up, I wake up. I asked her if she felt something walk in the room. She said yes. I asked her if she felt something sat on the bed. She said yes. So whatever this was that was in the room, it was tapping me consistently. It was tapping me and it was calling her. But when it was calling her, it was calling her mama. By the time me and her woke up, it was gone. It didn't take us long to come to the conclusion that this spirit was the baby that she had lost. Fast forward, next night, the child comes back. This time she sees the child. She describes the child as having my complexion, my eyes, her hair, and being a little boy. And the child told her his name. So moving forward, whenever the child came back, that's what we referred to him as. I'm not gonna say the name because quite frankly, I don't know if it was the child or a damn demon masquerading as a child, and I ain't trying to give it no power. So a couple of weeks go by, man, and I don't know what happened, but this girl, she did a complete 180, man. She was the most sweetest, submissive, humble female I had ever met. It's like she was perfect almost. She was a completely different woman, homie, one that I would have potentially dealt with. Then my wife calls me. My wife has been in a car accident. She got knocked off the road and she ran into a tree, totaled the car, and almost lost her damn life. She called me scared out of her mind, and she tells me that there was something supernatural about it. That the woman that hit her, there was no way she could not see her. Long story short, the girl had put a spell on my wife and caused her to have an accident. She tried to kill her. Part 5 is coming next.